Elite Facts presents
5 incredible stories of people surviving the impossible.
5.
Aaron Ralston. Now, how could we have a list showcasing people who've survived the impossible without including the man whose story was translated into the fantastic 2010 film 127 Hours? With this story, when we say he survived the impossible, he literally survived the impossible. There's no way he could or should have survived what he went through, yet he did. So back on April 26, 2003, Aaron Ralston was hiking all by himself across the Blue John Canyon in the eastern area of Wayne County, Utah, just south of the Horseshoe Canyon unit of Canyonlands National Park. Now, hiking all by yourself can be incredibly dangerous, especially back in the early 2000s when mobile phones weren't as common to own as they are now. So as you can probably imagine, hiking by yourself with no way to contact civilization in such a dangerous location like this is a surefire recipe for disaster. And as you know, disaster certainly struck, as when he was descending a slot of the canyon, a boulder that was suspended above him dislodged and dropped, crushing his left hand right before crushing and then trapping his right hand and forearm against the canyon wall. What makes this story even scarier is the fact that he didn't even inform anyone that he'd be out hiking, so everyone in his life was none the wiser as to where Aaron had gone to. Now, as you know, Utah during the spring and summertime is incredibly dry and warm, so this only made things a whole lot worse for Aaron. So here you have a man who's had both of his hands crushed by a large boulder, has been trapped by said boulder, and has now got to survive in hot, sweltering conditions with little to no food and water, which ran out after only a few days. There is no way he could survive. Everything was against him. However, after 5 days, he started to notice his arm had started to decompose due to the lack of blood circulating through it. He decided to amputate the arm, thus freeing himself. Needless to say, this story is truly incredible.
4.
Harrison OKeefe. When you go out to sea, you're always at risk, whether it's getting lost, having your ship malfunction in some way, shape, or form, or even capsize. You're always at risk, and the survival rate when stranded out at sea is slim to none. That's why this story is simply fantastic. So back on the 28th of May in 2013, deep sea divers hired to retrieve the wreckage of the Jackson 4 were attempting a triage of the vessel, which was 100 feet below sea level just off the coast of Nigeria, following it capsizing and sinking into the depths. Sounds like standard stuff when it comes to ships capsizing. However, what the divers weren't expecting to see when exploring the wreckage was a survivor. Harrison OKeefe was the ship's cook. He was in the latrine when the boat capsized and tried to reach an emergency exit hatch but failed. The boat began to fill with water, with O'Keefe trapped inside. Eventually, he found himself trapped with a 4-square-foot bubble of air. Much like anyone, after spending 72 long hours in that bubble of air, O'Keefe started to lose all hope of surviving. That is, until he heard a knock on the door. Those knocks were being made by a hammer that was being used by the divers working on the surface of the ship. Eventually, diving gear was brought to him, and he was brought to a decompression chamber where he had to spend 2 days. Needless to say, being 100 feet below the surface with little to no air, he shouldn't have survived. The pressure of being that low down should have been more difficult for him, but he managed to survive in what would be a story for the ages. As you can probably guess, he retired from the sea life not long after, as he's since stated that he's never going out to sea again. Could you honestly blame him?
3.
Michael Benson. Okay, so you've survived a life-threatening situation, but have you survived a life-threatening situation in a volcano? Not too many people can lay claim to surviving inside of a volcano. However, Michael Benson has bragging rights, as he survived inside of a volcano for 2 whole days. So back in 1992, Benson and one of his work colleagues, Chris Duddy, were out shooting aerial footage around Hawaii. This footage was for a film in which the scene showcased a helicopter crashing over Kilauea, aka the most active volcano in the entire world. So as you can guess, the risks are already pretty high. The cameraman and pilot, Craig Hosking, plunged inside the volcano crater, narrowly missing the boiling lava pool. While Hosking and Duddy were able to reach safety over the next day, rescuers struggled to locate Benson amid the noxious fume clouds. As you can probably expect, after spending an extensive amount of time around noxious fume clouds would cause anyone to lose hope. However, Benson survived as he spent 2 grueling, sleepless nights inside the crater listening to the horrific sounds of the surrounding lava pools bubbling around and below him before eventually being retrieved by a rescue team. Needless to say, Benson certainly has some bragging rights, that is for sure.
2,
Peter Skeilberg. Now, with these stories thus far, most people have survived under intense conditions from a single day to nearly a week. While that's impressive, nothing comes close to being trapped in a car for 2 whole months in freezing conditions. Sounds impossible, however, Peter Skeilberg was able to do it, and how he did it was incredible. So back in February of 2012, 2 snowmobilers were riding around the icy Northeast when they came across what was a seemingly abandoned car. When they went to look to see what was inside of the car, the 2 got a shock when they found a man lying in the back seat. What was even more shocking was the fact that the man was still breathing. Bear in mind that to even open the door to this vehicle, the 2 snowmobilers had to dig through a meter of snow and ice. According to Skeilberg, he states that he had spent 60 days trapped inside the car, living off of snow alone. While rescuers later cast doubt on his account, scientists said that it is possible that Skeilberg survived the ordeal by his body going into hibernation and an igloo effect creating insulation in the car. Whether it's 60 days or not, it's still incredible how he was even able to survive for a few days, considering how freezing the vehicle would have been.
1,
Reshma Begum. This one is simply incredible due to how much damage that could have been done to the person involved. So back in April of 2013, Reshma Begum, a 19-year-old seamstress who worked at the Rana Plaza near Dhaka, was caught in the wreckage when the factory collapsed. When the dust had settled, it was discovered that this collapse took the lives of 1,100 workers. After countless hours and days of searching, it seemed as though all hope was lost when trying to find more survivors. 17 days after the collapse happened, however, rescuers heard a banging sound from amid the ruins and found Begum alive underground. It's incredible how she did not sustain any horrific injuries due to how large the death toll was. She survived underground due to finding dried food and a limited supply of water to help keep her going. The young mother was pulled to safety and reunited with her awestruck family. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our previous videos and to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you'll be notified about future content. Be sure also to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and drop a comment down below. See you all soon.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more elite facts.